What's up, everyone? Today, we're talking about why your metabolism can crash after just 7 days of dieting, how that can slow down or completely stall your weight loss, and why everyone over 40 who's struggling with their weight needs to know about this. Most people think weight loss should be straightforward. Cut some calories, eat a bit cleaner, maybe add a daily walk, and the pounds should keep dropping just like they did in week 1. When it stops working, they just do more of the same. But here's what actually happens. Your body has a built-in survival mechanism that kicks in within 7 days of cutting calories, and for people over 40 with metabolic damage, it can reduce your calorie burn by up to 40% in just 30 days. I've seen this exact pattern with thousands of my clients, and once you understand this process, you can finally work with your metabolism instead of against it. So in this video, I'm breaking down the science behind why this happens, why it's worse when you're over 40, and the exact protocol to prevent your metabolism from crashing. I'm Dr. Kathleen Nash, and I've helped thousands lose 3 to 7 pounds per week by fixing their metabolic damage first. So let me walk you through exactly what happens inside your body when you start cutting calories, because once you see this timeline, everything about your past diet failures will finally make sense. Day 1 through 3. You start your new diet, you're motivated, maybe you cut out 300 to 500 calories. You feel good, the scale starts moving, but here's what you can't see. Your body is already starting to panic. It's detecting less food coming in and begins making hormonal adjustments, specifically with a hormone called leptin. Now, leptin is a hormone that's actually secreted by your body fat. It goes up to your brain to tell you you're full, satisfied, and not lacking energy. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I've got plenty of body fat, so why would my body think I'm starving? And that's the cruel irony. Hormonally, this is not what happens. Day 4 through 7, your leptin levels start dropping significantly, even though you have fat stores. Your body is now in full conservation mode and begins slowing down your metabolic rate, the rate you burn calories every day. Most people have no idea this is even happening because they're still losing weight. But here's what researchers have found. In healthy people with normal metabolism, this slowdown happens at about 13 calories per day. So after 10 days of dieting, they're burning about 130 fewer calories daily. But here's the kicker, and this is where being over 40 with metabolic damage changes everything. If you're someone who's struggled with weight loss for years, done multiple diets, maybe you have insulin resistance or fatty liver disease that you don't even know about, your body doesn't just slow down by that normal rate. It can slow down by 30 calories per day, more than double. And that means by day 10, you're burning 300 fewer calories than when you started. And by day 30, you could be burning up to 40% fewer calories while eating the exact same restricted diet. Now, this process I just described, where your body slows down its calorie burn in response to eating less, has an actual scientific name. It's called metabolic thermogenesis, also known as metabolic adaptation. And here's what most people don't realize about adaptive thermogenesis. It doesn't just reset back to normal when you stop dieting. Every time you go through this cycle, every time you restrict calories and then go back to eating normally, you are actually making the problem worse. Which brings me to the most important part of this whole discussion. Here is a sobering statistic. The average American will try 126 different diets in their lifetime. And if you're over 40, you're in the peak dieting years. Nearly 20% of people in your age group are on some kind of special diet right now, compared to only 13% of people in their 20s and 30s. Think about that for a second. If you've tried even half that many approaches by age 40, your body has been through this cycle dozens of times. And here's the brutal truth. Every time you diet and then regain the weight, you are training your body to get better at adaptive thermogenesis. Your body learns. The first time you cut calories dramatically, maybe it took 10 days for your metabolism to slow down significantly. But your body remembers that experience. So the second time you diet, adaptive thermogenesis kicks in faster, maybe day 7. The third time, day 5. And it's not just faster, it's more severe. Your body becomes increasingly efficient at slowing down your metabolic rate because it's experienced this famine before and wants to be prepared. But here's where it gets really problematic for people over 40. While you're going through these diet cycles, other things are happening to your metabolism. Maybe you're developing insulin resistance, which actually affects about 50% of adults by age 40 in the United States. Maybe you're starting to get fatty deposits in your liver from years of processed foods, refined sugars, and stress. Your hormones are also naturally shifting. Each of these issues makes adaptive thermogenesis worse. So now you're not just dealing with your body's natural survival response, you're dealing with a damaged metabolism that overreacts to any calorie restriction. This is why that diet that worked when you were 25 doesn't work anymore. This is why you can follow the exact same plan that helped your friend lose 20 pounds, but you lose 3 and then plateau for weeks. Your metabolism isn't just slower. It's been trained to protect itself more aggressively with every diet attempt. And the more metabolic dysfunction you have, the more severe this protection becomes. But before I show you exactly how to work with your metabolism instead of against it, you need to understand exactly what's causing this dysfunction. Let me break down the 5 most common issues I see in people over 40, and chances are you have at least one of these, maybe all of them. Number 1, fatty liver disease. This isn't just something that happens to heavy drinkers. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is incredibly common now, and here's why it matters. Your liver is the only organ that breaks down body fat and converts it into usable energy. If your liver is clogged up with fat deposits, enlarged, inflamed, or just not functioning optimally, it cannot do this conversion efficiently. So even when your body wants to burn fat, it physically can't access it properly. Number 2, insulin resistance. Here's a shocking statistic. 50% of American adults have insulin resistance by age 40. Most don't even know it. Insulin resistance means your body has to pump out massive amounts of insulin just to handle normal blood sugar. But here's the kicker. If your insulin levels stay above 30 microunits per deciliter in your blood, your body gets a hormonal signal to store fat, not burn it. You literally cannot access your fat stores for energy when insulin is that high. Number 3, set point theory. The longer you stay at any weight, whether that's 150 pounds or 250 pounds, you're programming your central nervous system that this is where you are supposed to be. Your body starts acting like a thermostat. If you try to go below that weight, adaptive thermogenesis kicks in aggressively to push you back up to your set point. Number 4, nutritional deficiencies. People who chronically undereat, and let's face it, that's most dieters, develop nutritional deficiencies. Your body actually needs specific nutrients to burn fat efficiently. When you're deficient or living off of a lot of ultra-processed food, fat burning becomes even more difficult and adaptive thermogenesis becomes more severe. And number 5, inflammation. When your body becomes too acidic, which happens with stress, poor diet, chronic dieting, and ultra-processed food, hunger and cravings skyrocket. It becomes nearly impossible to maintain a calorie deficit because your body is fighting you hormonally and trying to protect you from the damage of chronic inflammation. So if you have even one of these issues, adaptive thermogenesis hits you harder and faster. If you have multiple issues, that 13-calorie daily slowdown can become 30 calories a day or more. That's why some of my clients were burning 100 fewer calories just 3 days after the start of their calorie restriction. Now, here's where I'm going to tell you something that might make you angry, and it should. Everything you've been told about weight loss, all that eat less, move more advice, the calorie counting, the extreme restrictions, it's not just failing you, it's actively making your metabolic dysfunction worse. Think about it. You have fatty liver. Traditional dieting tells you to cut calories drastically, which forces your already struggling liver to work overtime trying to convert what little energy it can access. You are making the problem worse. You have insulin resistance? Well, most diets tell you to eat 4, 5, even 6 small meals a day to keep your blood sugar level and keep your metabolism going. But every time you eat, you're spiking insulin. You are literally keeping your fat storage hormone elevated all day long, making it impossible to burn fat. Your body has a set point it's trying to protect. Traditional dieting says just eat less and push through the plateau. So you cut calories even more, triggering adaptive thermogenesis even harder, and your body fights back with more hunger, more cravings, and an even slower metabolism. You're nutritionally deficient from years of restricted dieting or eating processed food. The solution, according to traditional advice, restrict even more. Cut out entire food groups. Eat the same boring chicken and broccoli every day. You're creating more deficiencies while expecting your body to somehow burn fat more efficiently. And chronic inflammation? Traditional dieting is one of the most inflammatory things you can do to your body. The stress of constant restriction, the cortisol spikes from being hungry all the time, the inflammatory response from cutting calories way too low or eating ultra-processed food, and you are literally inflaming your body while trying to lose the weight. Here's the brutal truth. The diet industry has been selling you a solution that creates the very problem it claims to solve. Every time you follow their advice, you're training your body to get better at holding on to fat and worse at burning it. And the worst part? They blame you when it doesn't work. They tell you that lack of willpower, that you're not trying hard enough, that you just need to eat less and move more is the trick. But now you know the truth. Your body's doing exactly what it's supposed to do to keep you alive. The traditional approach isn't just wrong. For a lot of people, it's backwards. So if traditional dieting is the problem, what's the solution? How do you actually lose weight and keep it off when your metabolism has been damaged by years of dieting? The answer is something I call metabolic reset, and it's the complete opposite of everything you've been taught. First, you have to stop the adaptive thermogenesis cycle. Remember how I said your body starts shutting down your metabolism within 7 days? Well, research shows that you have a window, about 30 to 35 days, before your body makes major long-term metabolic adaptations. So instead of dieting for months at a time, you work in strategic cycles. For example, with my private clients, I use an 8-week program that cycles through 2 distinct phases. Phase 1 uses targeted metabolic protocols designed for each client's specific metabolic damage, and that phase is only 30 days maximum. We're working within that critical window before major adaptive thermogenesis kicks in. But here's the key, and this is where most people mess it up. You just can't eat less during those 30 days. You have to eat the right foods in the right amounts to fix the underlying dysfunction. If a client has fatty liver, I use a specific physician-grade nutrition formula that helps the liver process fat efficiently, and we eliminate the ultra-processed foods, especially refined sugar. If they have insulin resistance, I have them not only eat in a way that keeps insulin low so the body can actually access its fat stores, but also encourage time-restricted eating that increases every 5 to 7 days, again, as the body adapts to the strategies. If we're dealing with chronic inflammation, we create a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods and use nutrition to help eliminate inflammatory toxins. This helps calm the system down instead of stressing it out. And then comes phase 2, and this is where we test that your body will actually hold the accelerated weight loss you achieved in phase 1. So during this phase, my clients will start in a calorie deficit, but they're eating foods that keep insulin, the fat storage hormone, low. And we slowly increase these calories, adjusting based on how they respond to between 2,000 and 3,000 calories a day, including restaurant food and even fast food, all while maintaining their weight loss. This proves their metabolism is truly fixed, not just temporarily suppressed. The magic isn't in eating less, it's in eating specifically for your metabolic issues while giving your body the time and the nutrients it needs to heal. When you do this correctly, something amazing happens. Your body stops seeing you as a threat. It stops hoarding fat. It starts trusting that food is available, and it begins burning body fat efficiently again. But we follow very specific protocols designed for each person, and we follow those protocols precisely. We can't skip meals thinking it'll speed things up. Food substitutions have to be carefully monitored to ensure the response is what the client is looking for. This is not just calorie restriction, it's metabolic science. When your metabolism is damaged, precision matters. Now, I need to be completely honest with you about something. Even when I explain this process to my clients and give them their customized protocol, I still have 15 to 30% of people who sabotage themselves, and the patterns are always the same. Mistake number 1, they're still conditioned to think more restriction equals faster results. They'll look at their meal plan and think, well, if eating this helps me lose weight, then eating even less will help me lose weight faster. But remember, adaptive thermogenesis kicks in within 7 days, and with metabolic damage, it can happen in just 3 days. Mistake number 2, they try to fix just one piece of the puzzle. They'll focus on their insulin resistance but ignore their fatty liver, or they'll work on inflammation but create nutritional deficiencies. When your metabolism is damaged, these issues are interconnected. You can't fix one without addressing the others. And mistake number 3, they think they can DIY this. Look, I've worked with thousands of clients over age 40. I've seen every combination of metabolic dysfunction imaginable. Even with all that experience, I still have to customize each protocol based on someone's specific issues, their history, their current health status. You can't just Google how to fix insulin resistance and expect it to work when you also have fatty liver, chronic inflammation, and 20 years of diet damage. So the bottom line, even if you're over 40 and have struggled with your weight, you almost certainly have metabolic damage. And metabolic damage requires a systematic professional approach, not another DIY attempt. So now you understand why traditional diet has been failing you. You know about adaptive thermogenesis. You know about the 5 metabolic dysfunctions that make it worse. And you understand why precision matters when your metabolism is damaged. But here's what I want you to do next. Don't try to figure this out on your own. Instead, I want you to get educated about your specific issues first. If you think you might have insulin resistance, and remember, 50% of people over 40 do, I have an entire video breaking down exactly how to identify it, what it's doing to your body, and the specific steps to reverse it. You'll find that linked in the description below. If fatty liver disease sounds like something you might be dealing with, I have another video that explains the warning signs most doctors miss and how it's sabotaging your weight loss efforts, even when your blood work looks normal. Watch the ones that resonate with you and get educated about what's really happening in your body. And if after watching all those videos you realize you need a comprehensive approach that addresses all your metabolic issues simultaneously, not just one piece of the puzzle, then I do offer one-on-one online metabolic evaluations where we can identify your specific dysfunctions and create a customized protocol just for you. There's a special offer for that in the description section if you're interested, but start with the education first. Understanding your metabolism is the first step to fixing it. I'm Dr. Kathleen Nash, and I'll see you in the next video.